All right, and ooh, sorry, I just scared my dog. All right, and welcome back, everyone, to part 5 of when Midoriya had a Zanpakuto, the Kyoka Suigestu edition. Last time, we dealt with the Hero Killer and the graduation exam, final exams, and we moved forward with the training arc in the forest. Now, this is a kind of an interesting arc here. Midoriya, doesn't have one for all here. So, his training is going to be different. Plus, once they get there, all right, yeah. It's like, all right, you got to get to the center. Good luck. Throw them in the forest. The earth-based creatures come and attack. Those things should not be susceptible to Kyoka Suigestu, as far as we know, because it's earth-based ability. It's all those senses, I think, are like through the user, how they're attacking her, whatever. I don't know if those would work. They clearly have a way of knowing where the target is, so maybe Midoriya could make it work. But because they're not objects at all, they're not even like AI. They're just elemental homunculi. I don't know if we can count those with his ability. Still, though, thanks to his training with Edgeshot and him trying to improve his abilities, he's actually more skilled of a swordsman here by a long mile than he was originally. And so he's able to cut through, some of the earth-based creatures, if you will. Beyond that, though, let's just say he could use Kyoka Suigetsu on them. That would be enough to keep him safe. He's just cutting through these things, delimbing them, if you were, dismembering an actual term. And yeah, he and the others, particularly Ida, Shoto, Bakugo, and Midoriya, get through the forest with ease. They get through it first. And they make a point. It's like they're all been growing, particularly those guys right there. And then obviously they get there, and Kota punches him straight in the net. It's like, dear God. I always comment on this, but my God, was Kota just a little shit. Like, I get it, your parents died. Life sucks. Get a helmet. Like, you don't randomly punch a dude you just met in the junk. Like, you little shit. But anyway, yeah. So really, it's the training that they're all going under. They're all, going under. Midoriya's training would probably be just figuring out other ways to manipulate individual senses. Also, whichever one of the Pussycat dolls? I can't remember exactly what their group is called. Because of the rubber body quirk he has, the malleability quirk he has. He can train Midoriya in swordsmanship a little bit more easier by using, evading all of that. Midoriya also probably is careful to pull his punches, admittedly. But he's, doing everything he can to work on his Zanpakuto, including communicating with Kyoka Suigetsu himself. And he talks to Kyoka Suigetsu. It's like, I'm really, how far along do you think I am? You're doing very well, Midoriya, but beyond that, my power is greater than even that. What? You haven't not earned. That's not the right way to put it. You're not ready yet to use my full capacity, Midoriya, but the time will come when you are. You are getting closer as time goes on, and you obviously know what that means when you're talking about a Zanpakuto. For now, just continue to work on using the Shikai to its fullest abilities. And obviously, we know how to Bankai is usually you gotta make the Zanpakuto submit, but it's actually not 100% the same for every user. Obviously, Ichigo went a different route to get his Zanpakuto's Bankai. Obviously, Zaraki is a very different case. There are exceptions to the rule, clearly. But right now, Midoriya will not have Bankai. Will I obviously give him a Bankai later on? Sure, but that's beside the point. So eventually, the villain's attack on the training grounds happens, and Midoriya, is able to show up just in time to save Kota. And as Muscular is about to hit him, he even manages to kind of nick one of his muscles. She's like, Sharp blade you got there, kid. And Midoriya's just staring him down. Kid, not even glaring, although he is a little. It's not a cold, calm, icing glare with a smile, but it's not maybe not glare, but it's more of a very passive glare, like not answering. Oh, come on, kid. You gotta have a little bit more. You gotta be more willing to. We gotta work with me here. We gotta make this fun. Come on, Shatter. Kyoka Suigestu. Oh, the only thing shattering is your ribcage. And just Midoriya disappears. Unfortunately, I can't allow that to happen. You villains. I can't allow villains like you to be able to run amok like this, especially when you're threatening little kids. It's like, yeah, come back here, you. Where are you? Where are you? And it's like, I'm here, or am I here? No, it turns out I'm right here. And then finally, just punches him. Just and his arm feels like it's off. My arm! What the hell? No, his arm isn't broken. It just feels like it's on fire. You. It's like, where are you? What? Can't see me? Here, I'll make it easier for you. I'm right. I'm right. And Midoriya's also like tagging him. Shing. My blade can cut his muscles. It can't cut him in one swing, but it can cut it in fiber strand by fiber strand, basically. Just like, shing, shing, he's cutting my muscles one by one, and I'm gonna waste you. Just destroys the ground limit. Midoriya is able to jump back, but the muscular fire is like, got you. I can't see. I might not be able to see, but I can hear you. And then just, got you, you little punk. What? It's just like a log. Unfortunately, I'm just in the wrong type of opponent for you. Mind over matter. In the minds of mind over matter, mind usually wins. You and then just finally does the whole going dark, losing ears. I can't hear. Where are you? And then finally just boom. It basically does like a sonic boom effect. Just more or less blows his eardrums out, or at the very minimum, overstimulates his mind and essentially just knocks him the hell out. Yeah, I commented before, but Aizen literally can, because he can manipulate his senses, he can make you hear the loudest thing in the world to theoretically blow your eardrums out. But it wouldn't actually do that because there's no sound vibration. You think you're hearing it, but you're not actually. There's actually no sound vibration in there. At least that would be my speculation on that. Although, if you want to get technical, if he is manipulating your sense of hearing, you think you're hearing a sound that sounds different than it actually is. I mean, I guess technically you could be manipulating your eardrums. I guess. So yeah, in theory, then Aizen could blow your eardrums out. He can make you go blind. He essentially has Tosen's Bankai in his Shikai, which is hilarious to me, without the weaknesses of it. So that's what he does, and that's kind of like with villains like this, where he knows he can't take him down physically, he just takes him down. Come on, we got to get going. And so Midoriya, gets coded out there. It's like, Midoriya, I see you had to use your quirk, didn't you? He's going to kill Kyoka. Very well. You have permission to fight the enemy. All right. And so the battle continues, and right out the gate, you have a very big change here. Toga would not, or Himiko, would not be infatuated with Midoriya after that because she saw him all bloodied up. It's like, I love you. Oh, you're so awesome. No, she just sees him. And obviously, they try to capture Bakugo. Midoriya, unfortunately, at this point, Midoriya could basically just go shatter Kyoka Suigestu again. Unfortunately, even if he does, he's got to be able to get Bakugo out of the way or away from them in time, and he's got to basically just shut off senses right out the gate. Like that means Midoriya's go-to at this point. It's like, no, get away from him, shatter Kyoka Suigestu, and then all of a sudden maybe Dabi fires some fires. I don't know what you're doing, kid, but I can't let that happen. And it's like, oh, I remember watching the sports festival. You had that illusion power, so cool, Midoriya. And so it's like, and he keeps trying to release his Zanpakuto, but it's just not happening at the moment. And so, even though he theoretically could stop them all right out the gate. He doesn't get there in time. I think Bakugo still gets kidnapped, which then leads to the whole one for all for one rematch, which would be about the same, I think, here. Although All Might has yet to give all one for all away, so all for one or sorry, All Might would actually still have an easier time winning here because he's nowhere near on a time crunch. But it's after that fact that I wouldn't say it's after then that he gives his quirk to Mirio. I think that's after the Shibuya. Is this Shibuya? The overhaul incident. Really, it's a matter of Midoriya, training to work on signature move. Ultimately, then going for their provisional licenses, and within the provisional license exam, Midoriya essentially just makes himself invisible, like anyone who can see or has seen the release. Now, unfortunately for Toga, when she tries to tag him initially, and I think she'd still be there because she's at least kind of interested in him, at least to a minimal extent. She gets tagged too. So basically, as long as it's as long as it's not his allies, yeah, no one can see him, so he passes that fine. Unfortunately, though, his quirk is really not good for rescuing. It's more designed. It'd be better for combat or tricking an opponent. So he really can't aid in the fight with Gang Orca at all. So I don't really see much of that changing. Beyond that, though, there is the beyond that, though, there is, I think words here, the issue of the Bakugo versus Midoriya confrontation. Does that even still happen? Honestly, no. Because there's no reason for it to happen. Bakugo does not feel guilty for All Might retiring because All Might didn't retire. He didn't even lose his powers here yet. So even though he's upset that All Might that he had to be rescued, particularly by everyone else, I don't see Midori and him having it out, because the whole point of that fight was he felt like it was his fault, and he needed to know why All Might chose him over him. So I don't see any of that happening, which means honestly they're not in trouble. They meet Mirio, frankly, when he challenges Class 1A, or 1A challenges him. Now this is actually really interesting. Midoriya has obviously gotten more physically in shape. He can probably throw some hands a little bit, but Midoriya's quirk here would actually be monumentally better for fighting Mirio than any of the other quirks, because Midoriya, mind you, isn't equipped with a sword, but he doesn't have to use his sword's release to get someone in there with his quirk, as long as he's think words. Sorry, my throat's starting to go a little bit. When he's not using a sword, he has about half his power. But the trade-off is he actually doesn't need a release, and technically Aizen doesn't either. But still, his illusion are maybe half as strong, but still effective, and they don't stick on someone. So Mirio and Class 1A start fighting. He takes a couple of them out. Midoriya gets in close, and basically just puts them gets in close. Kind of even snaps his fingers, just kind of maybe like as a. It's like, I don't need to do it, but it adds a little flair kind of thing. Rushes in, and it's like, got you! And just, wait, and then Midoriya is, power! And, he thinks he tags Midoriya, only for Midoriya to, boom! Because he's invisible to Midoriya at the moment. Just, boom! He actually hit Mirio. What the heck? And, and unlike with actual invisibility that he could do with Kyoka Suigestu, it's probably more like the Predator, where there's a shimmer. He can definitely see like the outline of Midoriya a little bit, and so there's a trading back and forth where Midoriya actually is able to land strikes on Mirio, because Mirio isn't aware of where Midoriya is in this scenario, until eventually he does kind of pinpoint it out. It's like, wow, you got a really great quirk. You actually were able to tag me and even put me on edge for a little bit. But unfortunately, it's not enough, because I am power! Boom, and beats the crap out of him. So with the internship, this is so ultimately it still ends the same way Class 1A gets defeated. With the internship, this is interesting. Would he still go to Night Eye? I think Mirio, impressed by Midoriya, would bring him to Night Eye. And unlike in other situations, Night Eye probably isn't as anywhere near as against Midoriya here because of the whole all for one thing, or one for all thing. But I do think he's aware, because All Might has probably spoken about this kid a few times, thinking, oh, this kid's interesting. I don't know if he's a good candidate. And he's looking to see if Midoriya really is a good candidate. Now, this is a very interesting thing here. Midoriya, I'm told you have a quirk that affects the five senses. So tell me, Midoriya, what are you going to do? What will you do? And so Midoriya is like, show me what you can do. And so Midoriya tries if you can take this piece, this from me, you can win. I will accept you as my intern. And so Midoriya tries, how is he even able to see through my illusions? Because of Night Eye's quirk, he can see the future. But we know Kyoka Suigestu can confuse the future as well. I mean, Yuaba has a far more powerful version of future sight. And even Kyoka Suigestu was still able to confuse that. That being said, he's seeing infinite future, so if he thinks he's seeing a future, he can make it seem like it's a different future. So, weirdly enough, a straight beeline future is a very different thing to deal with Kyoka Suigestu. I think Kyoka Suigestu, ironically, doesn't handle a just linear path well, as opposed to all the possible branching paths, because you can confuse someone to thinking one branching path is another one, whereas with one single path, that's all there is. So it actually doesn't matter what illusion technically Midoriya puts up, because he's going to know that's not the right illusion. And so, for example, if he sees Midoriya about to grab it, he moves his hand there away, and Midoriya suddenly grabs it and takes it out of his hand. Well, obviously, he can't do anything about that. Or, no, sorry, he can just say, well, no, I won't. I'll move it this way instead. So that's what he does. Still, though, I think he still sees enough in Midoriya to understand why All Might maybe was interested. And besides, All Might said, I don't think Midoriya is the right candidate in this case. So he allows him to go, allows him to be his intern. Him and Mirio find, Eri and then Overhaul. And then obviously and nothing changes there, but he does. But Midoriya, not trusting him, does say as he minorly draws his sword. Not enough, just to be like, sorry, this thing gets stuck sometimes. It would shatter my heart if I ever got damaged. I see. Well, goodbye. And so he's actually put Overhaul under, let's call it Genjutsu, if you will, under his control right out the gate. And so when he eventually goes to rescue Eri, he again just like, holy crap, there's nothing you can do, Eri is mine. Then shuts him down, just literally can just overwhelms the brain, the stimulus, all that, just knocks his ass clean out. Like, that would be Midoriya's go-to for most people at this point. Like, if he knows he can't take them on in the physical fight, just black, can't even feel anything, like literally shut down all of his senses. In theory, Isaac could just shut down every single one of your senses. And ultimately he's just like, I can't hear anything, and finally, again, does the whole, hypersonic noise, just kind of overwhelm his senses and just knock his ass out. And so Overhaul would probably go down like a brick, like easy. And then they take him away, and then Shigaraki takes his hands. And yeah, really, like seriously, it's it's very interesting where this goes. We're gonna leave it here for now, though, because we know Night Eye, I believe, is like heavily injured at this point, I think. And so All Might and Mirio discuss it, and Mirio would be given one for all. But we'll leave it at just the 20-minute mark for now. I do have to get to work in a little bit. So thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you next time.